Our next comic is, he's a regular. He's been here many a times. Good friend of mine, very funny guy. I'm going to save the chatter. I'm going to bring up my good friend, Kenney. You guys give it up for him. Woo! Woo!
Do they look good? You know why? It's because I got really sunburned today. So like half my body's super hot, but my nipples are even hotter. That makes sense. I'm gonna bring my paper up because it's intimate in here and I got some new jokes. I want to thank F and Vodka, as normal. Thank you, F and Vodka. I'm glad you sponsor us. It makes us funnier the more you drink of it. I do think other people need to start following that rule, though. For example, I would love to see NASCAR start being sponsored by Trojan condoms, because those people shouldn't be reproducing. The Jersey Shore, possibly sponsored by something along the lines of Everest College or University of Phoenix, something so they can get an education too. Something like the Source Awards, sponsored by menthol cigarettes. And then probably also Trojan condoms and University of Everest. Thank you, my name is Kenney. So I want to make comments at some other comedians that are up here. Matt McClendon had to leave, he had an emergency, but I do want to make a point that he says Keith and him have something in common. Unfortunately, I doubt Matt has ever been pulled over for speeding as a ginger. Isn't getting pulled over the gayest thing ever? It's the blackest thing. He's never said getting pulled over is the gingerest thing ever either. So I recently did an open. I was in an open mic in Chicago the other day, and the bathroom had like you walk in, you go to the urinal, and where normally you would see like the sports section or like a waterfall, something that would help you pee. You saw a picture of a topless lady. I'm not really sure what they were going for with that, because like, is that just encouragement to jerk off in a public bathroom? Just walk in and be like, oh, well, I was gonna pee, but you've put these tits in front of me. So, would you, worse than Keith had the joke earlier about the walking in a bathroom while someone's shitting, you don't want to be that guy. Do you want to be the guy walking into the urinal while the guy's jerking off with pictures of tits up there? I'd let him finish, I'm a gentleman. I just moved to Chicago. Yeah, the city that kind of sleeps sometimes.
It only benefits me.
Yeah, I also want to make another commentary on one of Keith's jokes earlier when he said the house Negro, and that, you know, any black guy that had a house then would be a house Negro to that homeless guy. Well, Keith was sleeping on my couch at the time. So does that mean he's my house Negro? Is that how that works? I'm not sure. I was at a bar the other day in Chicago, and I'm starting to get the contrasting of Chicago and Northwest Indiana. Like the lines are actually almost starting, you know, to become more apparent. For example, you walk into the registry over there, and you're gonna see on the wall in spray graffiti, "Fervent blowjob, call here," or this so and so sucks dick, or do some coke on the bathroom here. But it's the registry, so what do you expect? In Chicago, the graffiti's a little different. I walked in, I looked over as I'm peeing, and the first thing I see in graffiti is, "The decor here is terrible." That's just like the most awkward graffiti, because, you know, I could see when people are writing like, "Oh man, this guy sucks dick, hilarious," or he's just really pissed, like, "This guy sucks dick." The guy writing the decor is like, "The decor here is terrible." And that wasn't true, the decor was awesome in that bathroom. It was set up like a subway station. That was a little extra. I love homeless people. Yay. Love homeless people. They're so cool. But they're getting pushy. I don't know if anyone's ran into this. I ran into a homeless person the other day. that came up to me and asked me for exactly $18.75 in cash. Not, can I have some change, sir, to help me get on the train? Can I have $18.75? That's not homeless anymore. That's just asking a friend to borrow money at this point. And I don't know what he's trying to do. Is he trying to bleed me dry? Because I can fully assure you, if I was out there panhandling, I'd get a lot more fucking money than you would. I'm way more charismatic and can probably give a tug job better. Anybody else kind of a nerd in the audience? There's not a lot of people in here. Let's just clap and say we all are. I'm a big superhero guy, with the Avengers coming out, you know. Notice how the Avengers takes place in New York. New York. Chicago never gets superheroes. But I realized why. It's very simple, because we cannot facilitate a superhero, because our people doing the secret identities do not have the correct identities. For example, Ghost Rider. He was in a movie with Nicolas Cage. You probably flipped through while watching TNT. Waiting for the George Lopez show to start. He's, you know, a badass stunt biker. Nice jacket, driving, he's dangerous, he's Nick Cage. In Chicago, though, Ghost Rider would probably not ride the motorcycle that's on fire. He'd probably ride a bike everywhere. He probably wouldn't be on fire because it's bad for the ozone. He would probably not have a skull head because skulls are way too 2002. It's kind of hard to put like the threat of eternal damnation to someone when you're wearing skinny jeans. There'd probably be a whole issue with his comic book where he's trying to find Arcade Fire records. There's a lot of hipsters in Chicago. I don't know if you got that one. I recently went to Gay Pride Parade. I was with Keith. Loose dress code. Dress code. That's all I got on Gay Pride, by the way. That's it. Coming back to Indiana, I've been thinking about all my high school friends and seeing high school friends, and everybody had that high school friend that always kind of acted black, especially if you're in like a more of a white area. You know, he always comes up, hits on girls the same exact way. And in high school, it always worked too. He'd walk up and be like, "Yo, girl, your ass is fat." He would just start quoting R. Kelly lines from Trapped in a Closet. It was a midget. And it would always work. But I like to think there's some of those guys I know that are now sex offenders. And I like to think they still pick up girls the same way, but just a little different. Just like, "Yo, girl, your ass so fat I can see it from the front." In accordance with Megan's law, I gotta tell you, I'm a registered sex offender.
Oh my God.
Let me get them digits, girl. That one's work. That's a work in progress. we're kind of like, it's a small crowd. It's kind of like a bouncing off session today. Like, you know, I'll tell some old jokes. Why not? I come from Lowell, Indiana. Give it up for Lowell. Yeah. No, don't. That does not require that much enthusiasm. Lowell, Indiana. It's. Have you ever seen The Village? The movie The Village with M. Night Shyamalan and Ding Dong? Where the whole spoiler alert, sorry for those who haven't seen a 9-year-old movie, is that it turns out that they aren't really in the 1600s, that everything around them is normal. I like to think that's Lowell, but instead of the 1600s, it's 1985. And jean jackets are still cool, and mullets are still cool, there's a lot of Rat playing. Cinderella. But I came from Lowell. It's a cool town. It's a small town feeling, or if you read between the lines, that means there's not a lot of minorities in the town. It kind of. I mean, I still have some of those small town issues. Every time I see a cool looking Indian guy, I assume it's Aziz Ansari. Like, I love you, Parks and Rec. I thought Keith was a member of TV on the radio for solid 3 months. Or CeeLo Green. I'm a big fan. Sing the fuck you song. I'm also a big history buff. I originally went to college for that. I was a big fan of colonial history. You know, the early signing of the Declaration of Independence and stuff, the Bill of Rights. And I always liked to think that there was that early racist Republican in the Bill of Rights who was just like, when they start off, where they're like, oh, the First Amendment, freedom of speech, right? That's a good one. What should the Second Amendment be? And for those who don't know, the Second Amendment's the right to bear arms. So I can just picture the meeting. Okay, any ideas on the Second Amendment, guys? Second Amendment. How about guns? How about we give women the right to vote? Guns! How about we, allow freedom of religion? Fuck that, guns! Guns! Will the delegate in the back quiet down? Guns! Let's get along with it. Eventually, guns became the thing, but I want the law to be reprimanded like then. They should have just been like, okay, there should have been something that said they could only use those colonial-style muskets. I mean, I live in Chicago now, and I live in a vastly Puerto Rican neighborhood, and I could picture a drive-by going on with a musket out there. You know, one of the ones you see on like Pawn Stars. Takes like 45 minutes to load. Just boom. Hold on. Drive slower. Second. Hold on. Cops come running up. Freeze! Damn it! I can do that all night. Literally. Yes, I am. I'll get the DMX, don't worry.
DMX.
I'll get the DMX, don't worry.
DMX right now.
I live in a vastly Puerto Rican neighborhood, which is cool because when I moved to Chicago, I was worried I couldn't, make loud explosion noises outside. I don't know if you've ever been in a Puerto Rican neighborhood during 4th of July, but it's basically being in Baghdad. It's fucking terrifying. Oh, you know what else is fucking terrifying? A quinceañera, because it's also like Baghdad. If I had just been in the war, I would start having PTSD issues immediately moving into my neighborhood. Horrible. Also, quinceañera is the funny thing about it. I know every girl on my block that's 15. So lucky I'm not that guy I mentioned earlier. But yeah, we went to Gay Pride, like I said, and the funniest thing is they played DMX during it. I don't know how gay-friendly DMX is. But the best thing about DMX is if you have a Twitter is follow him, because he tweets exactly like how he talks. It'll be something simple like, my show in Pensacola was canceled today. It will be replaced tomorrow. But you gotta know when he was thinking about it. You just gotta say it. DMX was like, my show, Pensacola, canceled tomorrow. Next day, tomorrow. In the name of Jesus. It's another thing. He prays on every single one of his albums. How insane is that? He will start off an album and go, in the name of Jesus, we break bread with our enemies. And then the next song, the opening chorus is, I got blood on my hands and no remorse. I got blood on my dick because I fucked a corpse. I'm a nasty nigga. Really? You are DMX. Like, you can't pray and then talk about having sex with a corpse on your next song. He's so hard. He's not mystical, though. I have an obsession with Mystical because I think Mystical is probably, first of all, he's the coolest sex offender ever. Look up his name in the registry. It says on there his real name, which is Michael Taylor, alias Mystical, Michael Mystical, and Mystical Taylor. Do you think one person is like, yo, Mike Mystical, what up? He has a song where in the middle of it, let me break down his most famous song. The first couple lyrics, the first 30 seconds of it, because they're fucking insane, of Shake Your Ass. He starts off by going, I came here with my dick in my hand. Don't make me leave with my foot in your ass, be cool. So so Mystical essentially walks into a club, placing his penis in his hand, and threatens to fight people. Then there is 20 seconds of inaudible, and then you just hear a full-grown German Shepherd. Is he just rapping about things? Like, did DMX call a dog show once? Like, a full-grown German Shepherd. Mini pinch schnauzer. Labrapoodle. Just things he sees. Mystical's crazy. He has a new song called Bullshit, where he literally just goes, "That's that bullshit!" over and over and over again. Barring he's been in prison for 5 years. Can't be that much bullshit. And for numerous sexual offenses, by the way. You know, I didn't write any of that stuff. I'm gonna keep that. Yeah. Thanks, small crowd. I love that. But yes, I do love Twitter. I sort of wish Twitter had been around forever. I don't know. It's so fun to us. Like, for example, like think if Twitter was around in like the early '90s with like Kurt Cobain, and how just every tweet from him would be like at K Cobain, I'm sad. At K Cobain, heroin's cool. At K Cobain, I love my wife. Hashtag Pearl Jam sucks. Sonny Bono at Sonny Bono. I think I'm gonna go skiing today. He's dead. Is that a 1 minute, or are you just?
One more.
Or are you just yelling at me? Just settle down. I'm gonna finish with this, by the way. I'm gonna keep going with these Twitter. He's so unprofessional. At Abraham Lincoln. Hey, these seats are really good. Too soon. At John F. Kennedy. I think I'll keep the top down in the car today. At O.J. Simpson. Man, white women be crazy. At Kobe Bryant. Man, I love white women. And O.J. Simpson. Man, I love white women. At Keith Evans. Hey, man, I love white women. Alright, guys, that's my time. Little new, little old. Have a nice night. I'll see most of you. One of you at home. The other one, he sleeps on my couch. I don't hear Frasier, by the way.
Keep the music going, because these announcements sound so much more cooler when I got music in the background.